Hey beautiful people, I'm Sharon, also known as Mrs. Q. Welcome and thank you for joining me today. So I've managed to keep away from getting caught up in the January sales like I normally would, and with that managed to stick to one of my New Year's intentions for 2021, which is to have a low to no buy year. And what that means for me personally is moving away from frivolous spending and actually using what I already have. Essentially, I want to stop stockpiling and hoarding stuff. Now, please don't hate me for saying that, but I think like many of us in 2020, I've done a lot of decluttering and reorganizing. And with that, I have realized just how much stuff I have. For example, I have so much makeup, I have so many toiletries and what have you. And the toiletries, I think, are a great example of frivolous spending. I tend to purchase these things when they're all on special offer, and that really is a great thing, but I think now I've reached the point where I do actually have to start using all of this stuff. One of the other things that also came to light, I've always known this, but to actually see it all laid out there, was how much stuff I have in my wardrobe when it comes to clothes, shoes, bags, and accessories. Now, I've seen many people are going down the road of getting rid of a lot of this stuff, selling it on all the pre-loved websites and what have you, but when I've looked at some of this stuff, it really does still spark so much joy. And to be fair, I'm really not ready to thank it and say goodbye to it just yet. So that means I have to start using it, because in a year, if I haven't worn it or used it, it is going onto those websites or into a bag and off to the charity shop. Now, going forward, I'll be shopping my wardrobe, hence Mrs. Q's wardrobe haul. I'm not going to do a fancy closet tour because as you'll see, mine is far from that. But what I've been able to do with all the decluttering and organizing is just to arrange everything in a way that I can quickly and easily find what it is that I'm looking for. Because I don't know about you, but I tend to find that I spend, or should I even say waste, so much time looking for stuff when I'm getting ready, and I always end up being late to everything and everywhere, and that is just not a good look. So moving forward, I feel having everything organized in this way will really be helpful in the long run. Don't get me wrong, I love the IKEA pack systems that are all the rage at the moment, but in going forward in 2021 with my low to no buy intention, it just doesn't make sense to invest in any kind of wardrobe solution. What I've done instead is to shop my home. I have dug stuff out of the garage. I have taken stuff out of other rooms in the house, reused, repurposed, creatively upcycled, and certain things I've used in a way that you might not normally expect them to be used. For example, this shelving unit over here is a couple of upright twin slots and brackets, and for the shelving I did already have two proper shelves from B&Q that I bought a long time ago, so that's no cost, no expense, as they're repurposed. And then for the rest of them, what I've done is use some cut to size old wood laminate floorboards. They do the job just fine, because to be honest, when they're all packed up, you really can't see the shelving through everything that's on them, and they do the job perfectly fine, as you can see here. With the curtains, I've actually flipped them backwards so that the lining faces into the room, and the actual original curtains, which were some purple satiny striped thing, faces to the outside. And as you can see, it kind of fits into the color scheme a bit better than the purple ones did previously. One thing that you'll also see here is that I prefer to keep my shoes in the boxes, and except for those ones that are in their original boxes, what I've done is I've flipped the boxes the other way around. In fact, I've turned them inside out so you can see the cardboard khaki sort of like craft side of them displaying, and then I've gone and label them all very clearly so I know exactly which shoes are in which box. For the hanging storage, these are a couple of IKEA rails, which I bought probably about 2 or 3 years ago. They were about 2 for £15, and we use that just to hang my husband's suits, his jackets, and all our coats and everything. Most of our clothes don't actually stay in this room, but it is a good solution for what we've managed to fit into here. Another thing that I have repurposed is the pull-out drawers from one of these canvas and wood units. The inserts work so well as drawer dividers, which I've actually put in the underbed storage of this single bed here. They fit perfectly, as you can see, and the bed itself was free as well when some friends moved out of their home probably about a year or two ago. I have to add, I have purposely kept as a fully functioning bedroom because, let's be clear, it's a whole bedroom and it is a lot of real estate not to be able to use for what it's meant for and just store stuff in it that really isn't making any money at all for anyone. It's just sentimental and I like it. Whenever we do have guests stay over, it does come with a strong warning that you literally will be sleeping in my wardrobe, and if you touch it, if you break it, you buy it. I think that's fair, don't you? And speaking of buying stuff, my biggest expense was these 2 IKEA floating shelves. They were £18 each. I have to say they were an absolute nightmare to put up. I would definitely 100% not recommend buying them. They were awful to put up. However, due to some sheer determination and will, they did end up being put up. And so as they're up, they will get used. As you can see, this is where I store my handbags and purses. And again, I do prefer to store them in dust bags. It's just a personal preference. Some of them aren't actually in dust bags. I'm just considering whether or not moving forward in the future, I will put them into some sort of dust bag. A very good tip that I have heard of is using pillowcases. You can just use plain ones, but if you want to be fancier, you can invest in some satin pillowcases, which will do just as good a job as any dust bag. This is a full-length mirror. Again, it was just knocking about in the garage. I've just cleaned it up a bit. Some of the edges are a bit chipped and a bit worn, but you know, for the most part, it does the job just fine. I've propped it up on a dining room chair, which was a bit excess to requirement after changing the dining room into my office and replacing it with a wheelie office chair. What I've also done is I've used another one of the pull-out drawers from the canvas and wood cabinets and just propped it under the chair. I use that to store towels, extra bedding, and what have you. As I say, this is a fully functional room, and if guests do come to stay, well, there you have it. All your linen in one place, easy to find. In terms of other decor throughout the room, I really didn't spend any money on it. You've got your tall pampas grass vase. The pampas grass was free. I cut it when I was out walking one day. The candles are something I already had. The frame that you see over there, again, it was something that I had anyway. And the pictures that you see inside it are actually from a pack of plain cards. It's probably about, you know, when you buy these packs of about 20 cards and they've got 5 or 4 different design on them. This is essentially what they are. There's a load of them left in the box, and as we go through the year, you probably will see those pictures change as well. Just know I've not spent any money on it, and I've repurposed stuff that I already had. I've talked a lot about repurposing stuff, reusing things, recycling, and what have you, and this is really based on some very good advice that seasoned YouTubers give to those of us starting out. And it really is just not to spend too much money getting started. You know, really just use whatever it is that you have to hand, you know, and get started. which is another piece of advice that they give, is get started. Do not procrastinate. And that is something that I am guilty of. My intention was to start doing this low to no year buy after my birthday in November last year. But here we are in February, and well, I guess what counts is that I'm here now, and I will be here with you for the foreseeable. My own piece of advice would be, forget about the bells and the whistles. If you can take the time and make the effort to, produce your content and make something that you're really happy with and you're proud of, then you know what, just go on and post it. Put it out there for the world to see. Don't worry about the comments that come back. You've taken the time and the effort, and in doing this myself, it is not easy. While I'm here with you, this is probably like the third or fourth time I've recorded this, whether it was the volume, whether it was the picture quality. And when I thought I was done, my SD card needed formatting and deleted all my content. So, I have to say, hat off to all those of you out there who do this once, twice a week, if not every day. So with all that said, here I am. And if you think a low to no buy year using what you already have is something that might be of interest to you, or if you just want to see how I get on shopping my wardrobe, then please do subscribe, click the alert button, be kind, and I'll see you next time.